Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to STITCH-crochet. Today we're going to be doing a Tunisian stitch called the Tunisian knit stitch. And I'll be using this stitch to make a bag for my niece, which I hope to have another video about. But for now, we're just going to do the tutorial on the stitch itself. So to start, make a slip knot, then chain 25. You can actually chain any amount, but if you want to do the bags that I'm going to make later, then you'll need the 25 stitches. It doesn't need to be a multiple of any certain amount. One for one exchange for the stitches. Like some patterns you have to have like a number of a multiple of 2 and then 1 to turn. This one you can use any number of stitches. So once you have your chain of however long you want it to be, you are going to work into the back loop of the chain. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I do it whenever I can for appearance sake, because it gives you a nice edge when you have the 2 front loops on the edge of your work as opposed to working into one of those. So each back bump that you work into, you're just gonna pull up a loop and leave it on your hook and then move on to the next one. So we're pulling up 26 loops because we did 25 stitches and then added 1 to turn. At the end, I think this gives us about an 8-inch wide piece of fabric. I'm using a 6mm Tunisian crochet hook, and mine is from Susan Bates. I do have some that came while I was working on this bag that the Knitter's Pride Dreams Tunisian Afghan crochet hook set. So I'm going to try and do a review for that. But right now I'm using my Susan Bates one, which I picked up at like Joann's. So this is what your end of your row should look like. I guess it's called the forward pass. So now we're going to do the backward pass. We're going to chain 1 just to bring our like working yarn up to the right height. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And you're going to do this all the way to the end of your return pass, I think is what it's called. There's a little bit of different terminology going on with Tunisian crochet. And this is only my second Tunisian project ever. I've done like pot holders in Tunisian, but nothing 3D. So this bag's going to be 3D. But yeah, just yarn over, pull through 2 loops all the way until you only have 1 loop left on your hook. So we get to the end of this return pass. I'm going to point out what is called the front and the rear vertical bar. The front vertical bar you can see going upright in the front of your work right there, and then it loops through and becomes the back vertical bar. And we're going to be working directly in between those 2 bars, working from front to back of the fabric. So we're actually going to insert our hook right into that space in between the 2 bars on all of the rest of our rows. And that's going to give us that knit look that you can't otherwise get easily in crochet. Just insert the hook from the front to the back and then pull up a loop. And then you look for the next bar, and right in the middle of that, insert your hook, pull up a loop. And we're going to do that for every bar that we have going all the way across, which is 26 in this case. So as you can see, this is actually pretty simple. And what you're gonna do is, as you approach the rest of the rows, it's the same exact pattern. So you do the forward pass the same way that I'm doing right now, where I pull up a loop from in between the two bars, the front bar and the back bar. And then at the end of that, you're going to chain one and yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And you just do that over and over and over again until your piece is as long as you want it. So forward pass, return pass, forward pass, return pass. And it's really quite simple and easy to remember. And I thought that was great. Something I'm noting right here is to make sure and count your loops to make sure that you're finding that final stitch. You should have 26 loops on your hook at the end of each forward pass every single time. If you would like to, I'm putting the instructions up for both the forward pass and the reverse pass. You can go ahead and pause this video and leave the instructions up right here, and then you can just look up and see what you need to do until you've got the hang of it. If you do want to make the little bag that I made, you're going to want to do 48 rows, and your final piece should be about as big as a piece of printer paper, 8.5 by 11. I did block mine. You don't have to block yours if you don't want to, or if your stitches are very consistent, but to block it, I just pinned it down on a corkboard and then sprayed it with hot water and then let it dry overnight, and that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and check back in a little while and see if that second video is up about how to make the bag. Thanks. Bye.